Hi betting experts, on Saturday May the 18th, cracking racing on ITV, the best of it from Newbury and Newmarket. Ground conditions have dried out, it's been a pretty pleasant week across the UK, proper flat racing ground, probably on the faster side of good. We start off with our betting expert Daily Nap, sponsored by Bet365. This goes in the 240 at Newmarket, trust a trader handicap over 7 furlongs. And I think darkness here should be nearing peak fitness with David O'Mara coming into top form. He's had 9 winners in the last fortnight, O'Mara. This likeable handicap has got plenty of speed, and I think dropping back to 7 furlongs will really suit him. I thought he shaped well last time out at this track, over a mile, racing with typical zest up on the hammer, just fading inside the final furlong. That should have put him spot on. The handicap has given him a chance here. Drying ground will suit. I think Jason Watson will be pretty positive here. He knows he stays further. He's likely to try and get him off in front out of the stalls, and hopefully he can stay there at a double figure price. Our betting expert value angle selection, sponsored by Bet365, goes in the 150 at Newbury. This is the Aston Park Stakes, a Group 3 over a mile 4, and I'm strong here on King of Conquest, who I think you can easily forgive his run at Newmarket 15 days ago. He got hampered there and was probably poorly positioned as Outbox escaped under a brilliant ride from Holly Doyle. I think he might sharpen up a touch from that first run since returning from Bahrain. They often do take a run or two to acclimatise back. Buick's been booked. I think he'll go really close. Fast ground will suit him, and this trip would be his optimum. The remaining races on ITV, we'll spin through them in time order. Over to Newmarket for a handicap at 205. Well, the top weight here, Serene Seraph, is a very interesting filly who I think is well worth following over the next few months. She was very likeable as a light juvenile campaign until sunk in really deep heavy ground on her final start in listed company, and that heavy defeat has certainly not done her opening handicap mark any harm here, starting off under the promising claimer Alec Vukansky, who takes off £3 to ease the burden of top weight. I think she's likely to be fully tuned up after 197 days off. I suspect she'll need a mile plus in time, but this 7 should be strongly run, and hopefully she can pick them off late. Back to Newbury for the 225, the Carnarvon, over 6 furlongs, a Group 3. Well, I think the value here lies with Malk, who's a big price this morning, and I think he's comes from a yard who's suddenly hit form, Richard Farr. He had a brilliant York Dante meeting. He's had 7 winners in the last 14 days. They're all suddenly flying, and this one went into the notebook on his final start last season behind Big Evs, who's pretty much the top-class juvenile. Didn't really see a lot of daylight and ran on very strongly late in a closing 4th, marking him down as one to follow as a 3-year-old this season. I'm sure he'll be fully fit first time out. Oisinor can weave his way through late and pick these off. Back to Newbury for the 3 o'clock, the London Gold Cup, a handicap over a mile 2. Well, King's Gambit comes from a yard. I really like Harry Charlton. I think he's going to be a young trainer to follow. He's taken over from his dad, Roger, this season. His horses have been running really well. This one ran really well on all 3 starts in his first season, and he now goes handicapping with the scope to improve dramatically as his stamina is drawn out over middle distances in the summer months ahead. Buick's been booked since declaration, so I think he'll be fit and well after 239 days off, and I think he seems sure to go close with any luck in running in a big field. It is a hot race, but King's Gambit is a very interesting horse for the months ahead. Back to Newmarket for the 3:15, a mile handicap. Well, Cabinet of Clowns is a tough and consistent handicapper who's won 3 of his 14 starts so far on the turf. He's been freshened up by a break, and I think this strongly run mile will be set up perfectly for his customary late charge under Charles Bishop, who incidentally was on board when he won at Chepstow last season. And finally, the day's feature at Newbury, the Al Shakab Lock-In Stakes, a Group 1 over a mile. Well, Big Rock has changed hands. He's left the head stable to join Maurice Garnier, which is not a household name on these shores. Maybe that'll help with the price of this classy 4-year-old. He's a bold front runner with a terrific attitude. I think he's going to get an attacking ride here in a relatively small field. His regular pilot's back on board, Aurelien Lemaitre, and I think he's much better value than the short price favourite in Spiral. Best of luck with all 7 ITV races on Saturday, betting experts.